Hello, Colorado. Logan Austin, your Durango Realtor here. Wanted to bring you a conversation kind of centered around health and safety and inspections during the transaction of real estate and what some guys like this good friend and colleague of mine, Cody Peterson, are doing to ensure that they can still operate and provide the level of service that they want to, as well as keeping you safe, as well as themselves safe. So, Cody, thanks for joining me here and sharing some insights on what you guys are doing these days with these interesting times we face ourselves.
Absolutely, Logan, and I do appreciate the opportunity to help speak to this because it is a passion of mine to do it right and make sure we're protecting people. So, yep.
Yeah, so just kind of getting right into that. What are kind of give me a brief overview of what you're doing on a day to day in your business as far as conducting inspections and just keeping yourself and clients safe while you're doing that.
So, there's always going to be good things that come out of situations like this, and we try to focus on those. One of those is that we have a far better open lines of communication now, I find, with our realtors and realtor partners and our clients. So that's a big part of it, is just communicating more what the expectations are, and so that's what's beneficial to this as well. But in each case, we're going to communicate with those listing agents, find out a little bit more about each situation and what specifically is going on there that might be caveats that we need to know about. With that being said, then we also, I take this pretty seriously in our trade association, which is InterNACHI. They have provided us with classes that will help educate us as inspectors to make sure that we're not doing any harm to the community, or that we're being negligent in any way if we follow those basic procedures. And a lot of those are, they seem to be pretty common sense on the face of it. Washing your hands, wearing protective gear, and that kind of thing. But those things have caveats to them, and it's amazing to me when you watch some of these videos about washing your hands and those kind of things, how we do that on a daily basis so much that we think we're doing it right, and really there's steps that can be taken extra to do it correctly. So those are those things that we're going to do. Is we're going to be I'm going to be suited up in a Tyvek outfit when I come on site to your home. I'm going to have a very good mask on. We don't even use the surgical masks that are so popular right now. What is that? The P95s or whatever. We actually use masks that, prior to even this happening, I'm always aware and cognizant of other real health risks to my profession, hantavirus and those kind of things. So we wear, the best type of microbial viral protective masks that you can even get. They're the big kind that have the big things on the side of them, big filters on the side, have multiple layers of filtration. And with that being said, just having a mask isn't necessarily going to ensure your protection. There's been a lot of discussion about that out in the social spaces right now, and there's a lot of people doing wonderful things to spend their time producing these masks and those kind of things to help the public. But if you're not educated on how that can be somewhat more harmful, if there's gaps in air and those kind of things out on the side of them, sometimes they can produce a false sense of security. So just handling that equipment is very important. When I'm out on the job, if I start grabbing that mask to take it off and I set it on the counter, I've now compromised that mask and it needs to go through a process of cleaning. So we're very cognizant of those, what might be small details, but have big implications. So we're going to take all those extra steps. I'm going to wear several gloves. You can't just put gloves on and then think that you're good to go. We're going to change those gloves out throughout the day. I'm going to wash my hands thoroughly and use, not just hand sanitizers, but we're going to clean our hands with good sanitary soaps and those kind of things, and use multiple layers of protection there. So our concern is that we don't show up on site, and even though I don't have symptoms, that we might put you at harm. And I certainly don't want to bring anything home to my children and family either. So it's something we take very seriously, and we have taken as many and extra steps in some cases to make sure that we are providing those levels of protection that are needed, that the professionals out there have advised us on, and that we've taken very seriously and are going, following those books to a T. It's not something to joke about or take to just kind of think that we're going to be all good by washing our hands a couple times. I mean, it's got to be very systematic. My job is very systematic anyway, and so it's not too difficult for us to as home inspectors to take some of that and really delineate each piece of it and go through those steps and follow them pretty precisely. It's all about the little details.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. That's all great to hear. You guys, even at sounds like international and the trade level, have kind of gotten these directives and gotten some initiatives passed down to keep you guys in a position to where you're keeping yourself and your family safe, as you mentioned, as well as the client. So it's good to hear that you guys can operate even in these unique times. Are there, knowing that your interactions client to client, maybe not as much as it used to be as far as people with you present in the home, are there some tools that you're using now as far as, as we go more virtual and trying to still allow a client who may be under contract and getting this home inspected, the ability to still kind of be on site with you, so to speak, without having to physically be there?
I've been part of a beta testing team for the last year to provide a technological service before this even happened that would help save time. And now it has gone live in the last month. And what's great about it is the timing couldn't have been better, because what we can offer now to help the public is a lot of, we always encourage that a client be on site if possible. I think there's value to that. A lot of inspectors might try to talk people out of being there. And I think that that's crazy. You really should be as much as possible on site. But in today's world, obviously, that's not a safe thing to do and isn't advised. So we've got a technological a program. It's basically an application, an app that I can send out to our clients. It's called the Customer Presentation App. And basically what it is you as a client, when you hire me to inspect a home, I can send you a link to this app, and it will allow you to see in real time everything that I'm doing. It's not like a camera that follows me around or anything, but basically any picture that I take or any note that I highlight on my program is going to show up in real time instantly on your end. So any pictures I'm taking, any notes that I'm calling out, so that while you're off site, even if you're working, you can kind of be spot checking it, so that you can formulate any questions that you have or anything that you would like to see in more detail, so that when I'm done with the inspection, what we normally do is go through and do a kind of a walkthrough of all the highlights of things that we find. We can still do that with you being there and me being on site, and you'll have the advantage of having all that information ahead of time, what the report's basically going to look like, so that any questions you have, you can bring to me, and then I can FaceTime you with my phone. We can talk face to face. You can see the house. I can walk around. You can say, hey, that railing situation that you mentioned, can you point that out to me and show me more what you're talking about? Or where's that shut off valve? And I can crawl around and I can visibly show it to you on screen. And that will give you the ability to basically go through that walkthrough and that summary, not much different than if you were right there present. And so that customer that customer presentation app, I think, is an industry game changer for us, which couldn't be more timely, because it will allow you to have that information in a timely manner, and can help us to still accomplish those goals of informing you as much as possible while I'm there. So kind of cool stuff right now.
Yeah, that's just really cool to hear that, just kind of the way the industry was going in general. Another example of, you guys being a little bit ahead of the game, maybe not expecting obviously something as severe as this.
Right.
At the same time, still allowing you to provide that really hands-on, so to speak, high level of service to where you can physically show, any issues or any, good things that you find with homes while you're inspecting them. Really cool and awesome that you can provide that. Last thing I wanted to kind of talk to you is kind of maybe looping back to that first part about protecting ourselves, health and safety and protocols. Do you have any good resources or anything as far as maybe the general public should be aware of, just as far as kind of going forward and how we deal with the situation?
There certainly is. Our trade association, which is InterNACHI, they're based out of Boulder, Colorado, and normally our classes are withheld to members, and they have opened up a COVID-19 class that's open to anyone and everyone, particularly contractors or anyone working as essential, but certainly is also open to everybody in the public that would want to learn more about this from an unbiased source. They go through basically everything from what is COVID-19 and all those things, to washing your hands, to using your mask properly, and a lot of good information that'd certainly be useful to anybody out there that needs to go to the grocery store or anything like that. So there definitely is. We will provide a link at the bottom of this video. But again, it's through InterNACHI. It's a COVID-19 class, and everybody's welcome to take it. In fact, we encourage it. I think it's a wonderful class. I've taken it twice now, and I think there is incredibly valuable information there that could be useful to all. So.
Awesome. Well, that's great. I really appreciate you sharing that information. And again, yes, we'll have that link in the description below so everybody can jump on there, maybe utilize some of that free time we have now these days to, just gain some more knowledge to protect yourself and your family. And that way we can still conduct, our daily lives as best we can. So thanks
Absolutely.
again, Cody. Really appreciate you taking the time and sharing all this information as what you guys in this industry are doing right now to provide a high level service and protect yourselves and the client base.
Absolutely, and thank you also, Logan, for getting this information out there and having a passion as well alongside to do this. And the more info, the better. So let's stand together and move forward, and let's keep it happening. I appreciate it all. Thank you all for
Yeah.
listening, and thank you, Logan, for doing it.
Absolutely love it. Thank you, Cody, and thank you guys out there. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great day.